Hey guys, I'm actually out in the shed at the moment and it's filthy out here, but I'm working on my pit bike, my 125cc pit bike. Can't really see it, I don't really want to show too much because the shed's so dirty, it's got stuff everywhere. But I'm working on it and I'm installing one of these bicycle computers on it. Now before you guys say, oh yeah, that's not going to be accurate, I'm not really aiming for 100% accurate. If I wanted 100% accurate, I'd put a proper motorbike speedo on it, but I just want a rough estimate, and this has a lot of neat little features on it, like distance, odometer, average speed, time trial sort of stuff. You can do stopwatches and all sorts of stuff on it, so it's mainly for that and just a rough estimate of speed. But it's pretty good and I've set it all up. I'll just show you the setup that I'm doing. So on the wheel, I've done it on the front wheel. I have seen other YouTube videos of people have had issues, and yes, my bike is dirty, but the front wheel, I've put it on the spokes as you would a bicycle, and this is the shocker shroud, so where the shocker covers the shocker like that, and it's pretty much the right distance away from the sensor. So I've measured all that up, and then pulled the shocker shroud off and I checked for clearance and everything before I did it. But then I drilled a couple of holes and mounted the sensor on the side of the shocker. Then I ran the cable up, cut a little notch out so the cable sits there, and ran the cable up on the inside. Now I'm going to have to be careful when I put this shroud back on that it doesn't rub on the shocker, because it used to rub. You can see where it used to rub because the plastic distorts. And then I'm going to run that, which is connects to the actual little control panel, and that's going to get mounted up on my handlebars. So I thought I'd do this quick video. I'll show you just what I've done for people that actually wanted to learn how to put speedos and stuff on pit bikes. Now, like I said before, it's not 100% accurate. The speedo actually tops out at 100 kilometers an hour, and this bike tops out at 100 kilometers an hour. So if the speedo says it's 100 and the bike won't go any faster, pretty sure it's doing 100. But it's just going to give me a rough estimate of what it's doing. Now you will have to, all bicycle computers are different, so you're going to have to read your instructions and measure the wheel and on how far it travels with one cycle of the wheel. You measure that, type in all your parameters and everything in here, and it should work on your pit bike. So I mean, just in the process at the moment of installing this, making sure it doesn't foul on anything, run the cable up to the front, and then I should have a nice little speedo attached to my pit bike. Also, if you are looking for a speedo, you want to look for one, if you want a cheapy one, this is like around about $30 to $40 mark, and it has the backlight on all the time function, so you can set it so the backlight stays on all the time, and that is what you would like with a pit bike. Especially if you ride it around the streets at night, you'd want a setup where the backlight stays on all the time, so you can just glance down, have a look at it. You don't want to be mucking around pushing buttons trying to make a backlight go on when you're doing 80-90 kilometers an hour. It's not fun. So I've just finished up the installation, guys. I thought I'd give you the rundown on it. It's going to be hard to show you on the bike, but the wiring runs up in that little notch I've done up the inside, then I kick it to the outside. Initially I was going to run it up the inside, but it will actually catch and foul on that shocker. So then I've run it to the outside, which it runs up. Cable tied it there. I'll take the light away. Cable tied it there because it was, when the shockers were compressed, the wire was coming out and was coming very close to the wheel. Now it wasn't actually touching the wheel, and it wasn't going to touch the wheel even fully depressed or whatever you did, but it's more the point, if you flick a stick up, you're going to rip that clean in half. And I've cable tied it up here, so when the suspension of the shock compresses, it does a nice little S-bend in here, and it's not in the way, it's not getting rubbed on anything, it's not going to suffer from abrasion. Then it comes in up behind the faceplate, up behind the back. Then I spiraled it around the clutch cable just to take up some excess that I had. And then I've mounted, I was originally going to mount it down here, but that was too low. So when you're riding, no matter what angle you had it on, you just couldn't read it properly. So I ended up mounting it up here. That's the backlight it's got, nice little backlight. So it's got the odometer, it's got the temperature, it's actually 17.3 degrees. I highly doubt that. That's only because it's been in my hands because it's quite cold in here at the moment. So then you got distance, I think that's max distance or max speed, average speed, and it's only 3.2 because I've been spinning the wheel. Then it's got time or timer, stopwatch, CDD. I would have to look in the instructions on what that is. I think it's cut distance down or something like that. And then CDT as well, calories, fat, which doesn't really apply to me. Then it's got temperature, which you guys can see, distance, and then it's got the time down the bottom as well, so you can have the time on. But I normally have a watch, so I'll just have it set to the odometer. You can have it set to scan mode as well, so I'll sit there and cycle through your distance, your odometer, and all those sorts of things. And then up here is your little wheel indicator. So if the wheel's actually turning, it symbolises like the wheel's turning, so it's showing you that it's reading. And I know it's reading. Forewarning you guys, obviously make sure that bottom sensor down here on the wheel is reading before you cable tie everything all up and get it all secured in your final positions, because you don't want to be undoing it all again just to adjust a sensor. So you want to make sure that's right, connect your computer on, make sure it all works, then run it all properly, then recheck it again. So I hope this video helped you out, guys. Thought I'd do it, and I don't see a lot of videos on speedos and everything on the pit bikes. Not a lot of people do it, and I thought it would be a popular sort of thing. So it's a little bit different for me. It's one of my how-to videos that I'm going to do. So I like working on the pit bike, and I thought that a lot of people might enjoy seeing how to put just a bicycle computer on their pit bike, so they get a rough estimate of what they're doing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, shoot them in the comment section. If you liked the video, give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media, and until next time, guys, peace.
Ben, look out, mate. They're running loose. Yeah. Look out for brakes there. They're on the run. They're wanting it. Look out, crazy left turn. Look, no, look. They're on the loose. They're on the works. Grips on the loose. Yeah. Brakes are down the runaway, man. They're wanted. They're wanted. They're 6 men in the store.